Welcome back to Muscle Serpents Daily, and it is Wednesday here in the snake room. And last night we had an amazing boa litter. We had a Onyx triple het Honduran T positive blood and anery that was bred to another one of the same type, only the male was a hypo as well. And we produced a really healthy litter. Everything is alive. These Central American dwarf boas are just truly enjoyable to watch because they're small. They have small litters, but the babies are not tiny. They're pretty good sized, and they all seem to live. They're very, very hardy. I don't know. I have to say that I'm really, really loving the dwarf boas that I have in my collection. My bloods always give me great litters. The Onyx, this is the second year I've gotten the Onyx litter, and it was spectacular. And you know, when you first look in the tub, you kind of get disappointed because, you know, when you don't see a white snake, only a white snake gets you kind of excited, or a black snake. Other than that, you have to kind of look around and start, you know, trying to figure out what you got. So this morning, obviously, I had put the clutch into the litter into the incubator. I learned this little trick from my good friend Mike Weitzman at Basically Boas is you want to put these babies when they're born into the incubator because it kind of simulates the mama's tummy. The temperatures are stable, the humidity is high, and they really will absorb their yolk sacs much easier, and they have a much better time. And developmentally, they seem to do better also if you leave them there for a week to 10 days until they shed. Then you take them out and you feed them, and they usually go right onto food. So that's what we're gonna do. So anyway, I have this litter in the incubator. I'm gonna pull it out. We're gonna take a look and see what we got. The babies will probably be a little cleaned up. They will have absorbed probably most of their yolk sacs, and we'll get a chance to maybe figure out, you know, some of the different ones we have. I like to wait till we completely shed these things out first time because then you really see the really nice colors that develop. With the Onyx litters, I find that sometimes it also takes a couple sheds, especially for anything that has blood in there, to really get a really good idea of what you're dealing with. I didn't even know I had a Super Onyx blood for probably several months, maybe almost a year after I had the litter. We weren't, Frank Nutt, who's the originator, or at least where I got my animals from in Europe, you know, him and I just weren't sure. And then, you know, after like almost a year, we realized that it was a Super Onyx and it was a blood. So that was the world's first at the time. And that was exciting. So we'll have to take a look and see what's in that litter. And we'll also see what else is going on in the snake room. Stay tuned. All right, we're back now. This is probably about 12 hours later from when we first saw our boa Onyx female delivering her babies. I assume she should be done by now. Oh, she's not happy. Yeah, she's not happy. She's one of the few boas that I've seen with a lot of energy, and she's protecting those babies. She actually took them all out of the sack too. We'll see that in a minute. But she's definitely not happy that I'm here. So I'm gonna have to put a glove on to play it safe. So we're gonna move her to another tub, and so we don't get bitten, of course. No reason for that. She's very feisty right now. And it's funny because the big Colombian boas, they don't really protect their babies. They're so happy to be done, they just want to get out of the tub. She is like not having it. She's like, no, I have plenty of energy. I'm just going to sit here and defend my babies from you for as long as I have to. So let me get a glove on, I'll move her, and then we'll take a look and see what we got. Okay, let's see what we got. We got our female out. She's in another tub right now. Remember, these are Central American boas. They're dwarfs. There's not going to be a lot of them. They don't have big litters. They're small boas. They look like the size of ball pythons. Here's a little baby. She's moving about pretty good. That's an Onyx right there for sure. That's probably a hypo Onyx. Looking at it. I got one still here that hasn't even broke out of the sack. I busted these sacks open just so they would be able to breathe, so no one's suffocating. This is a really light looking one. That's possibly, let's see if we get this off. Gotta get some of the goo off, as they say. I'm gonna put these guys in the incubator so they can make sure they absorb all their yolk sacs. This looks like a Super Onyx, to tell you the truth. Yeah, that's a Super Onyx. That's probably a hypo Super Onyx. That's definitely some kind of an Onyx. Very light. We're gonna have to see. These things are gonna have to shed out. This looks almost aneatheristic. There is anery gene here. We know there's an anery going on as well. This might be anery too. Very non-reddish. And once again, if we look at the eyes, we see a black eye. That could be a blood, that could be a plasma right there. So I don't think we hit a bloody Baron, which would be the blood Honduran T positive Super Onyx. We definitely didn't hit that in this litter. But we got some cool stuff, and we'll be checking that out over the next couple days as they, when they're ready to come out of the incubator. Look at them, some of them are all absorbed, some of these guys are ready to go, and then others they want to just be left alone. So everything's alive right now. That's good, always a good sign. Okay, here's our litter from last night, our boa litter from our Onyx triple het, blood, anery, and Honduran T positive. We had about 12 babies. They all are alive and well. I'm not going to go through them all now, but that's a really nice on top there. That's a really, really nice looking blood. I want to say almost Super Onyx. That would be great if we hit another one of those. I hit one this past year. And this one on top here, this whitish looking one, that might be also, I think that's a blood Super Onyx anery, which is nuts when you think about it. So we got some good stuff in here. Really, really nice looking boa babies. These are not, this is a dwarf boa gave birth to these. She's small, and these babies are pretty big babies. These are bigger babies than some of my Colombian boas. So once again, once these guys shed out, I'm gonna go through them a little bit more with you, but we got some really nice stuff here. That Onyx gene is just awesome. And I can't thank Frey Knut enough for introducing it to me and letting me bring it over here. Here's a regular Super Onyx right there on top. Whew, smoking. It's really nice. It's either an Onyx or a Super Onyx. Just really, really, I'm pretty sure it's super. Really cool looking. Yes, there's a T positive, I'm pretty sure, Onyx. See the nice stripe down the back here? Got some good stuff. Actually, I don't know if that's an Onyx. That might not be an Onyx. Although that striped tail usually does indicate Onyx. Anyway, we're gonna go through these over the next day. There's still some little yolk sac that hasn't been absorbed. I'm gonna leave these guys in the incubator for the week, and we're gonna identify them probably either late this week or early next week. I'm gonna show you this really gorgeous paradigm blood girl. I haven't really showed anyone this snake in a long time. When I first had her, she was and this is 2 years ago, she was the shine of the litter. I mean, she just stuck out when I opened that tub up and I saw all those babies. And I just, you know what, she was a runt. She was a little smaller than the others. Her nose is she's got a little smug nose. She's almost like a Persian cat. Most of the boas have the little, very long noses. She's got a short nose. So I said, you know what, this snake's not gonna live, but I really nurtured her a lot and she ate, and you know what, she's been growing. She's much slower growing than the other ones, but you know what, she's still going good. She's packing on size. She's not as long as the other ones. She's finally starting to put some girth on. Actually, her male brother, who bred this year for me, some females, is probably longer than her. He's not as thick because I keep him pretty trim, but she is continuing to grow. And so I kept her back, and I'm really glad I did, and she's doing really well. And so hopefully, maybe she's going to take a long time, probably another 2 years, she'll hopefully breed for us, and hopefully I can get these amazing colors. Look at that. I mean, even as an adult, look at that. That's kind of like a weird looking, there's some like weird looking faces on her. That could be some kind of a face, abstract face. That looks like some kind of like an alien face right there. And she's just really light colored. The other paradigm ones are not this light. And as an adult, she has great color, that nice striped tail. So we're gonna see what she can do in the future. Who knows what we'll plug her into, but she's got hopefully a bright future here. And once again, these are just grow up animals that I like to just take a look at every once in a while and say, oh man, I got some good stuff coming in the future. I just gotta be patient. Here's a really beautiful leopard female I have that's 66% het blood. She just ate a nice meal, frozen thawed meal last night. So she's sitting there and just kind of chilling out and digesting. She is actually sold. She'll be going to her owner as soon as he finishes paying me off. She's doing really good. I really believe she's gonna prove out to be het blood as well. Just, I love the leopard's heads. They got some of the nicest, I love that dark look, the dark eyes. That's really a nice snake. I was having a discussion with someone about what the whitest ball pythons were. And he was saying a white wedding, which is a spider pied that has no pattern. Sometimes they go completely white. I actually think it's the lesser piebald, and this is the lesser and the pie together create a white snake with black but little black eyes. I just think that this snake is the whitest I've seen. I just like them the best. Maybe I just like them because they kind of like freaky looking, you know, and they eat well and they breed well, and I just love this combination. This girl actually is also possible hurricane, possible ONXY, possible banana, unlikely banana because usually the males are the bananas, but and possible orange dream as well. So she had so many possibilities in her that I had to hold her back, and so I could breed her out and see if there was anything in there. I didn't want to give it away to anyone. There was too many good genes possibly in there. And once again, once you combine that lesser with the pie, what ultimately happens is that you blank out the rest of the pattern. Sometimes you get little hints. You know, sometimes you get, I think she has like a little orange blotch somewhere in her body. Teeny tiny, which I guess would qualify her as not being completely white. Although her sister has a little blotch. I don't think she has any. But if you just look at the snake, it's just a really attractive looking, you know, type of thing. You see it, and when you open your tub, and you're like, wow, that's a cool looking snake. You know, and if this snake was produced 15 years ago, before all the ball python morphs came out, if someone showed someone this snake, they'd be like, I'll pay $100,000 for that snake. That's just the way it looks, you know. And once again, you got to hold back stuff sometimes when it has a lot of potential and you don't really know what genes are in there. And then what happens is you breed it out and you wake up in the morning and the eggs hatch and you're like, oh my God, thank God I kept her. Or you wake up and say, oh man, nothing's in there. But you can't go wrong with lesser and pied anyway, even if those were the only two genes in here. She still looks great. So hopefully you guys are enjoying, you know, me showcasing some of the animals that I really enjoy in my collection. All right, so that was our Wednesday here at the facility. This is a busy day for me because I do a lot of filming today, not just for the snake channel, but for my bodybuilding channel. And I have to feed tonight. And oh my God, there's so many mouths to feed now with all these new babies. And I have to set up some new babies that I haven't even set up yet because I'm gonna have all these little fuzzy mice to feed. And I have to make sure that some of the new ball pythons that shed out are in their own little tubs so I can feed them as well. So it's gonna probably be a very, very late night for me. But that's part of the whole snake adventure, you know? And I at the same time, sometimes I dread it, but as soon as I get into the snake room and start doing it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So, but it's, you know, you gotta work it into your schedule, and that's the key. But that's what makes it fun, because I have a lot of different things I do during the day. And I think if you find that if you give yourself a lot of variation in your life, you don't get bored of anything, you know, and that's the key. I remember I used to have like 14 fish tanks back in the day in New York before I moved to Florida. And I used to dread the water changes. Oh my God, it would take hours to do water changes on 14 tanks. And I had a pretty good system. I didn't have an automated system, but you know, I had to use the old Python, you know, and drain the water out and put the water in. And when I finished, I loved to look how clean the tanks looked and all the fish were so happy. But while I was doing it, I was like, oh, this is never gonna end, you know? So once again, there's a lot of sacrifice sometimes if you want to get a lot of great results. And I tell that to my athletes who I work with on, you know, dieting and trying to get in shape as well. You have to be patient. You have to put the work in, because if you don't, you're not going to get the results you want. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. If snake breeding was that easy, you would see 1 million people with amazing snakes out there. But it requires a lot of work and dedication, and you have to love what you do. And hopefully you guys are loving what you do. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.